Wild, unpredictable, and a growing danger. We're tracking Florence's path as the storm churns in the open Atlantic.
Live to the Outer Banks right there. Landfall is not out of the question, but exactly where Florence is headed still remains a mystery. And that is our top story at 6. Good evening to you. I'm David Allen.
And I'm Janet Roach. Regina is off. Tropical storm Florence is gathering strength.
Let's get the latest from meteorologist Evan Stewart.
That's right. It's holding its own right now with winds of 65 miles per hour, but that forecast is for the storm to strengthen over the next couple of days as it gets over some warmer water, and it also exits this area of strong upper level winds that tore it apart yesterday, downgraded to a tropical storm last night, and still has winds of 65 miles per hour. But again, once it starts to move off towards the west, we see that potential for some strengthening. Here's the forecast from the National Hurricane Center. Again, carrying it off towards the west over the next couple of days and then starting to strengthen. Here's where it's expected to be by 2 p.m. or by 3 p.m. on Tuesday, located again somewhere here south of the island of Bermuda. And it could be anywhere inside this cone or even just outside of it, as there's still a lot of uncertainty as towards this track as we get into the middle part of next week. And then into Wednesday, somewhere here, 500 miles or so off the southeast coastline. Now, if you just extend the cone, that sort of gives you an idea of what might happen beyond 5 days. But again, a lot can change between now and the middle part of next week. So here's the preliminary thinking right now, that there's still a risk for parts of Florida and through parts of the Northeast. I think we're starting to focus somewhere along the mid-Atlantic and the Southeast as we get into the middle and end of next week. Again, whether that's towards us, back towards the Georgia coastline, South Carolina, North Carolina, still remains to be seen, as the margin of error out 5 days is about 200 miles. And of course, 200 miles can make a huge difference. So as we go into the weekend, again, this is the best opportunity to look over your plans, check those emergency supply kits, and just be prepared. That doesn't mean that it'll keep your power on any longer or anything like that, but it's certainly a way to be prepared as we get into next week. In the meantime, tracking just a few isolated showers and maybe an isolated thunderstorm in a few spots. We have a little one back here near Carsville and Franklin, just sort of drifting around. So through the rest of the evening, for all those high school football games, things aren't looking too bad. It'll be warm out there. Temperatures in the mid 80s at 7 p.m., dropping back into the 70s by the end of the game. Muggy out there. This weekend, looking a little bit wetter. I have more on that. 7-day forecast, the latest on Florence and what else is brewing in the tropics coming up in a few minutes.
All right, Evan, here's another look at Florence. The National Hurricane Center will release new data in their next advisory that's due out at 11 tonight. Now, we're roughly halfway through hurricane season, and are you ready for a storm?
Open up the 13 News Now app, tap the live voting tile, and grade yourself. All year long, crews in Virginia Beach have been adding sand to help reduce sand damage. But they have not started work in Sandbridge, leaving the narrow strip of land vulnerable to storms. And that's where we find 13 News Now reporter Allie Weatherton. Allie, are people nervous about that?
Well, David, people are nervous. Now, the president of the Civic League here in Sandbridge says when it rains here, it floods and it's bad. But the city leaders say this beach is in good condition and can withstand a storm. In February, Sandbridge Beach will get a $20 million upgrade to add more sand.
It's going to greatly mitigate and reduce potential storm damages and loss of property, potentially loss of life. And that's the main reason why we do beach nourishment projects.
This is a glance at what the beach looked like back in 1991.
There was nothing but a bulkhead separating the properties and the ocean.
Coastal Program Manager Dan Adams says since the 90s, there have been 5 beach restoration projects in Sandbridge.
We spend millions to save billions.
But Sandbridge Civic League President Andrew Roper says the 2019 restoration is long overdue, and he's worried about this hurricane season.
We're supposed to be on a 3-year maintenance schedule with the city with regards to sand replenishment.
City leaders say the beach restoration was planned for a 3-year cycle, but were able to push it to 5 to 6 years because they're putting more material on the beach. Adams says it saves money and gives a higher level of storm protection. He thinks this beach could handle a storm as is right now.
It is prepared. We expect we could lose a significant amount of sand. The sand is sacrificial. The idea is to protect the upland structures and the infrastructure.
Now, while city leaders say this beach is prepared, community members are hoping no hurricanes or storms head this way anytime soon. Live in Virginia Beach, Allie Weatherton, 13 News Now.
All right, Adley Weatherton live in Sandbridge. Thank you. Let's check back with our live poll. We asked you to grade yourself on how prepared you are for a storm. Most of you gave yourselves a B, but many of you say you would give yourself a D or F. Still some room for improvement, but we do thank everyone who voted. Not happy with the grade you gave yourself? Refresh your memory with the 13 News Now Hurricane Guide. It's free on our website and on the app. Just tap the weather tile.
Live now to the campus of Hampton University. A generous grant is helping to preserve a piece of history for generations to come. $500,000 is now set aside for renovations at the university's first Native American dorm. It's called Wigwam, and those who called it home played a huge role in the university's history. 13 News Now reporter Robert Boyd has the details.
Well, there are brick buildings across Hampton University campus, but some are a little bit more significant than others, like the Wigwam building, which housed the campus's first Native American class back in the 1870s.
It was rare. We were on the forefront.
Doretha Spells, Vice President of Business Affairs for Hampton University, says it was the Native American students themselves who built the Wigwam dorm back in 1878. 140 years later, it's still being used.
A great opportunity for American Indians to receive an education.
The first class consisted of 60 students, seen here sitting on the front steps outside Wigwam. The university says the building is just filled with their stories of challenge and triumph.
And we've always pride ourselves on that. We are able to blend the old in with the new.
So the university applied for a grant to preserve this history. And this fall, it's one of 19 colleges nationwide to receive $500,000 from the National Park Service.
With this grant, we're able to still maintain the building, have some of the 21st century features, but to still have that history. History is important to all of us.
The university also hopes this recognition influences new generations of Native American students to enroll.
At this time, I'm not aware of any Native American students being enrolled, but we often encourage. I think there are some scholarships available.
The restoration is expected to be complete by the fall of 2020. At Hampton University, Robert Boyd, 13 News Now.
And that money is part of a grant for several historically black colleges in the Commonwealth. VSU is getting more than $760,000. Virginia Union University also got $500,000. Just under $500,000 will go to Virginia University Lynchburg.